Hello everyone, this is Edray1416 here with another episode of Internet Pioneers. Inspired by Mr. Medicare's Internet Insanity, this series takes a look at the people that were innovative in terms of entertainment, information, etc. The person in question for this episode is Johnny Millenium, the happy console gamer. A man that reviewed games so passionately that he created a fan base around it. While most game reviewers did angry reviews with some humor, Happy Console Gamer did something totally different. How Johnny Millenium managed to get attention straight from the get-go is something I must talk about in this video. To understand Johnny Millenium, let's go back to the beginning. Johnny Millenium was born on January 12, 1974 in Yorkshire, England. During Johnny's childhood, his family moved around constantly. I don't know exactly where they all moved to, but it was a while before Johnny settled in Western Canada. During the 1980s, Johnny Millenium was a huge fan of punk rock, video games, and comic books. It was a trend all over North America at the time. Then as Johnny entered adulthood, he was an angry young man that would get into constant bar fights to a point where he moved back to England until he had an epiphany.
My later years in high school, I was hanging out with kind of a rough group of people. We were all skateboarders. We were up to no good every single weekend. It's nothing I'm proud of, but it's what we were doing back then. That's just the group of people I was hanging out with, and myself. We were going out, I turned 19, I had 19 into 20, and I was going out, and I know you can't believe this, because you're like, no, there's no way, this guy. I was fighting every single weekend of the bar. Every single weekend. I know. I was really into it, too. I loved fighting. It's something I feel really, I can't believe, in looking back, but I was a real kind of intense young guy. I really was. Back then, I had long purple hair, nose ring, and I had a really bad attitude. A really bad attitude. And but I always loved video games and things like that, but I was really a rough and tumble type of guy. So I was going out, and I was getting into fights all the time, and it was just, I'd hit a point when I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm kind of sick and tired of going out with my friends, getting drunk and whatever, and fucking getting fucked up and fighting people. I'm getting kind of sick of the lifestyle. I'm like, this is not really who I am, and it never really was who I was. It was never really what I wanted to do. It was nothing I aspired to do. It was just the set of circumstances at that time in my life. Those are the things I was doing.
Fast forward to 2006 as YouTube was being discovered. James Rolfe pioneered angry game reviews with his series, The Angry Video Game Nerd. Johnny Millenium was so amazed by this that he discovered other reviewers such as RMake21 and Spoony1. He also discovered Derek Alexander, who created a parody series called Happy Video Game Nerd. Imitating the AVGN style, Johnny Millenium was inspired to create a show that was a complete 180 from The Angry Video Game Nerd. Thus on March 17th, 2008, the Happy Console Gamer channel was created. His first video review was on Phantasy Star on April 26, 2008.
My first review is of Phantasy Star 1, one of my favorite games of all time. So here we go. So welcome to the first episode of the Happy Console Gamer. It's kind of cool. My first review is my favorite game of all time, and that game is Phantasy Star 1. Now, the decision is based purely on nostalgia, obviously. Somebody will say, well, how can that be your favorite game of all time? It's not in high definition, it's not in 3D. Well, this is the game that changed my life. The very first time I saw this, I knew I wanted to be a video gamer. I knew I wanted to play video games. So a little bit about the story. It takes place in Space Century 3240 in the Algol star system, which is a star system with 3 planets in it. And it's been ruled at the time by this King Lassic. And basically, you play the part of Alice, whose brother is killed, and you're out for revenge, basically. And you go and find 3 other companions to help you, and you basically can travel to the other planets. That's a really cool part of the series, is that you can always travel to different planets and solve what's kind of going on. And then from there, it becomes a pretty standard role-playing game in the idea that you go, fight monsters, level up, buy new equipment, and repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, like a lot of those old games were. But at that time, it was still a fresh concept to, fight and gain money and all this kinds of stuff. It's become a standard now in video games, and I know Dragon Warrior was one of the first ones to really set that standard, and a lot of the old Dungeons and Dragons games on PCs. Now, some people ask me, is this game worth playing? My answer is absolutely.
At the time, not many game reviewers were talking about the groundbreaking classics like Phantasy Star, Ancient Ease, Gobelius, and other classics of the 1980s and 1990s. So from there, Happy Console Gamer got attention on YouTube, attracting subscribers that found angry game reviews to be stale. As time went along, Happy Console Gamer's videos were in demand to the point where he hit 5,000 subscribers in 2009. Back in 2009, if you hit 5,000 subscribers, you were a big deal. As a result of Happy Console Gamer hitting 5,000 subscribers in 2009, Johnny Millenium decided to create a movie called Happy Console Gamer the Movie. This movie presented a host of challenges for Johnny Millenium from budgeting to detailing. It took 3 years to complete, nearly killing Johnny. Unlike the Angry Video Game Nerd movie, Johnny Millenium did not ask for donations, and he posted the movie on YouTube for free. This was pretty risky for Johnny, as no reviewer ever uploaded a movie to YouTube for free. Nonetheless, Happy Console Gamer the Movie was uploaded on September 30th, 2012, almost 2 years before the Angry Video Game Nerd movie was released. I can't tell you what Happy Console Gamer the Movie is about for 2 reasons. Number 1, I don't want to disrespect Johnny Millenium by spoiling everything. Number 2, the movie is so great that this video can't do the movie justice. So instead, I'm going to leave a link in the description for those that want to watch the movie. Happy Console Gamer the Movie is so great, I've constantly called it the greatest movie of 2012. Nothing in Hollywood came close to providing the entertainment quality that Johnny Millenium provided in the movie. I consider Happy Console Gamer the Movie to be my second favorite movie of all time, behind Gone with the Wind. You want to see an amazing story? See the movie for yourself. The only thing that pissed me off was the fact that I didn't have money at the time to get a DVD of Happy Console Gamer the Movie. Yes, folks, despite Johnny Millenium budgeting the movie out of his own pocket and uploading to YouTube for free, the fans demanded a DVD copy of the movie. Not only did the movie succeed, but Johnny made a profit with DVD sales, catapulting his will to review more games. So I missed out on owning a physical copy of the DVD just to watch the movie on TV. I really wish I had the DVD of Happy Console Gamer the Movie. Due to the success of the movie, the Happy Console Gamer channel exploded in popularity. He reviewed new generation consoles, PC games, and very seldom did rants with colorful language. One example was when Sega took down fan games, reviews of certain games, etc. This infuriated Johnny Millenium since he was a loyal fan of Sega. That was understandable.
Now, as you guys know, I basically stay in the land of happy and good with video games because that's why I came on YouTube. And the one thing that you guys know about me is that I'm a big Sega fan. I'm a huge Sega fan. I have made so many positive reviews for Sega. And, I just don't understand why Sega is flagging its own great press. Honestly. Now, I can understand if somebody's making a video about Shining Force going, this video, video game is shit, fuck Sega for making such crap, never buy a Shining Force game. Maybe then, and even then, I'd have a hard time. They'd have the right to maybe say, yeah, you fuck off, don't put that video up. It's negative press against this video game we're trying to positively promote. But when they're going after fans like myself or Benzo, or many other countless people out there who've been making the Shining Force videos, they're going after them for doing positive reviews of their games. Like Benzo did a positive review on Shining Force, a game he loves from his childhood. And he wants to share that with other people. He wants to tell everybody how much he likes Shining Force. And Sega goes and flags his video. This last week was insane when I got his message. And it was insane for me when I had my Bayonetta footage taken down. I'm like, what are you doing? I'm giving you positive reviews. All I've ever done for Sega is such positive reviews. And I gotta say, Sega, honestly, for anybody out there who watches this video and works for Sega, seriously, if you have any pull, send an email to somebody with any brains there and tell them to stop doing this. It is such negative press for you.
The other formula to Happy Console Gamer's success was Johnny Millenium's ability to be honest regardless of what videos he made. Not only did he review games that he loved, He also reviewed games that he hated.
First game I'm going to show is Thunderblade on the Genesis, and also was on the Mega Drive, obviously. This was an arcade game. The arcade game was fantastic. And I've never played the actual arcade game. I've only ever seen footage of it, and it looks fantastic. It looks smooth and fun and entertaining. And Super Thunderblade was none of that for me. It was none of that, unfortunately. It was one of the very first Genesis games I ever picked up, and I was like so excited about it. Remember, for anybody back then, you'd be reading about all the games. Super Thunderblade was there. It was like, oh, everybody wanted to get that game. It looked fantastic. You controlled like a Blue Thunder style helicopter going through a city, blowing up tanks and all that kinds of stuff overhead and first person. So I loaded this game up, and all I can say, I'm even getting frustrated thinking about it right now, is that I tried so hard to enjoy this game and get as much out of it as possible. In the same vein as Dynamite Ducks, this game is, it cost me a little bit of money to pick up. And as a kid, I didn't have a lot of money, so games were really important to try to get my money's worth out of, to try to squeeze some fun out of. And I really, honestly wish that there was online, in a sense of the way, to hear that, this game is not a great arcade port. It's a competent arcade port, but not a great one. I'm going to get into why. A lot of this game is quite literally, it's a first-person helicopter shooter. You're flying through the city. It's like Space Harrier. It's kind of 3D. It's trying to be 3D, but it's not 3D. It's very poppy. And, never mind the buildings are popping towards you in a first-person perspective, but also the, weapons that they're shooting, the gunshots and the fucking blasters and all the fucking rockets and all that are all popping towards you. And it feels very hard to figure out what's going on. You have to change your mind almost into a stupid mindset to be able to play this game and to do well at it. And I got better at this game, but I could never finish this game. I tried so hard. I would get so far, and the frustration level would get to me every single time. It was so, in my mind, cheap. Not because I wasn't good at the game, but because the game world itself was so fundamentally wrong. And it drove me completely mental. It drove me completely crazy. And I was so frustrated with this game. I remember being so agitated, playing it over and over, day in, day out. And no matter how many times I played it, I just couldn't get with the program with what this game was offering. And that's so funny, is a lot of games I've experienced have been like that, where you're trying to be, you're trying to play the game, you're trying to enjoy it, and you just can't. You just can't get good at it, no matter what you do. Other games you're an expert on. You know how that is. Other games you can play and you're phenomenal at. This was a game I was not phenomenal at, and it wasn't from a lack of trying. The effort was always there with Super Thunderblade, and it's funny, whenever I hear that the opening music, it always takes me back to my frustration level. Definitely one for the memory banks, one from 1989 when I was a younger guy, and I'll never forget Super Thunderblade for the rest of my life.
This was how he created a giant fan base. While he might not have over 1 million subscribers, his content has been genuine from day one. I could watch Happy Console Gamer's videos over 9,000 times and still be entertained. I've watched Happy Console Gamer the movie 10 times since the movie got uploaded in 2012. What have we learned today on this episode of Internet Pioneers? If you pursue your passion genuinely and do it well, you will earn respect and build a fan base. Be yourself. Don't be an imitator. Johnny Millenium did it his way and made amazing content through the years. And with the success of Happy Console Gamer the movie, he has basically become the Ray Romano of Happy Game Reviews. In other words, everybody loves Johnny Millenium. And that's why Johnny Millenium is an internet pioneer. Anyway, I'm Edray, and I'm out of here.